Hey everybody, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, the traditional custodians of the land on which these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Right, news out today, entertainment only for the bots. And look, to be honest, if this is not a channel for you, then don't bother leaving a comment. I had a few Russian bots on yesterday after my Russian reading, or trolls down in the basement. If it's not for you, just move along. Don't try and argue with me, because all I'm doing is reading the energies and reading the cards. Also, the supposed read this book bots are back again. Just ignore them as I go through the comments each day. I do remove them, so just be aware they're back. Don't comment on them, because otherwise I've got to go through another process to remove your comment before I block them. Otherwise you might find yourself blocked, and we don't want that. Okay, what am I having a look at? Oh gosh, looking forward to when I don't have to read on these people anymore. Benjamin Netanyahu. So apparently Mike Witkoff, can't remember his first name, Witkoff, apparently has been or is currently in Israel, spending a significant amount of time with the families of the hostages, and then he's traveling to Moscow. Oh, yeah, the triangle pretty much. Washington, Netanyahu, Israel and Moscow at the moment. And I'm not talking about the Israeli people or the Russian people or the American people. It is just these misogynistic dictators that however they seem to have gotten into these positions of power. The Netanyahu government is unravelling. He's desperately trying to hang on. He's been up on corruption charges and has managed to avoid actually turning up in court. He was either travelling or he was sick or whatever else it was. I think the Supreme Court in Israel are completely had enough of his excuses, but they are on a break at the moment, having their summer break. Okay, so Witkoff, which is the US Special Envoy appointed by the Orange Twerp, has been in Israel. He's then heading off to Moscow. He's in an interesting position, because he's not actually in, I don't believe, an official position, or if he is, it was sort of made for him to be the go-between with all these countries, the messenger between all these countries, the carrying of the diplomatic satchel that they don't trust going by other means. So apparently Netanyahu's come out demanding the full conquest of Gaza. He's been saying for decades in all his guises that he wanted to annihilate the Palestinian people. He's been saying it for so long, and it's still his plan. Witkoff has basically said the negotiations should become all or nothing. So either the Palestinians and or Hamas, they're not necessarily one and the same, give Israel, or Netanyahu I should say, everything he wants, otherwise they'll be taken off the map, is basically what Witkoff is threatening. So apparently, well, Mike Huckabee is the ambassador over there. Sarah's been visiting, currently visiting. Mike Johnson's also over there at the moment, Mike of the Little Johnson. And apparently he's visited a illegal Israeli West Bank settlement that is had been built in Palestinian lands, and he's the highest US official to visit an illegal settlement such as this, which is in violation of international law. So it's all just an absolute shocking mess at the moment. Now, apparently the Israeli cabinet voted to fire the Attorney General, Bahava Mira, and I do apologise, I'm pretty sure I've pronounced that wrong, as she had blocked Netanyahu from firing the head of domestic security. Both the Attorney General and the head of domestic security are positions that are non-political. They are not to be appointed by the government of the day. Netanyahu's, where have I heard this before, ranting on about how everything is a witch hunt. So, what a mess. What a mess. However, what does feel is that this is part of the unraveling, and we know, we've said it a zillion times, but I'll repeat it again. As the unraveling occurs, as it reaches it towards its climax, the situations in the world are going to get worse before the climax occurs, and then we can start rebuilding. And I'm just going to put it out there that Susan Lynn has said, I think it was a couple of weeks ago in a video, and it just reminded me of it today, because what's happened is apparently the Orange Twerp, or Congress, I should say, the Republican Congress, as part of the bastard budget bill, part of that was about privatising Social Security. Now, Susan Lynn has, I remember a couple of weeks ago, said that when this is all over, everybody will be issued with a new Social Security number. This is how bad it's going to get, is that it's just, and it's so important that you look after your neighbour, build your communities, work out what you can do to save your money now, for bills that cannot be paid by, babysitting or tutoring or writing or whatever. Now, the barter system, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Everybody's capable of bartering something. I have a girlfriend who is an artist, and she was after some renovations for her house. And one of the top architects, if you can hear that, it's just my daughter coming, using the side up the hallway door. She's an artist, and one of the top architects in our area loves her artwork. So she actually exchanged a couple of her artworks to have her plans drawn up. Both were incredibly happy with the outcome, because for the architect, that's just what they do, and for the artist, again, that's just what she does. So there was no money that changed hands in either case, and we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars worth of architect plans drawn up. So, don't dismiss, don't say you can't, because whether you say you can or you can't, you're correct. Everybody has a skill or an ability or something that they can exchange for, whether it's propagating plants, whether it's tutoring children to read, whether it's changing oil in somebody's car, whatever it is. Everybody has something, giving a haircut, mending clothes, whatever it is, everybody has a skill that they can draw upon. Okay, so back to the top. I can't remember whether I said that, entertainment only. Let's have a look at well, we know what Netanyahu means by full conquest. The aid, I mean, to be honest, parachuting aid in is just all about the optics. The amount of aid, food that can get in by parachute is so pitiful, but gee, it looks good on the news. So I'm just gonna, absolutely, it's better than nothing, but the amount of money that would have been spent to send aid in, that is there to be sent in already. It's sitting there ready to go in, is just absolute. But it looks good on the telly. Looks good on the telly. Looks like they're doing something. Looks more impressive than a fleet of 50 trucks going in. Okay, let's have a look. What do we need to know? Okay, I'm drawn to Witkoff having Witkoff. Let's have a look. So Witkoff's been right. Splitting the deck. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, which is about looking to see what one can reap. He's got the sword there downwards. There's a cup. So you've got swords, cups, and pentacles all there. There is no wand, so there's no messaging about what he's doing, but he's got a strategy that is not positive, trying to keep the emotions in check, but looking at what options there are available going forward that might Witkoff. And we're just talking about the devastation and abandonment and ghastliness. What I'm really getting is the reason why you've got all these people there. I mean, Huckabee is the ambassador, but Mikey of the Little Johnson and Dickoff, I don't know what to call him, Dickoff will do, is because the rest of the world is turning against Netanyahu. It's almost like a show of support because the rest of the world, I mean, we had the pro-Palestinian protest on going across the Sydney Harbour Bridge, between 90 and 100,000 people on a filthy, cold, howling wind, wet day. And they're now talking about continuing with the protests around Australia because there is support. So the world and 20-something or nearly 30 countries have come out acknowledging a Palestinian state. Yeah, it's just the worm has turned, let me put it this way. So what's Witkoff doing? What's Witkoff? He's been in Israel and he's heading off to Russia. Come on down, let's have a look. Sorry about the long intro there. Right, just move that out the way. Got my cheat sheet over there. What's Witkoff doing? Page of Pentacles. Bringing forward a diminished message of protection is what I'm getting from that. Against all these obstacles in the background. The obstacles in the background. So a diminished message of protection. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Now this rune, it's a combination of runes. The line through the middle is about the challenges and frustrations and things being blocked, and the little butterfly style on the outside is about embarking on an enterprise and a breakthrough and an awakening. So it's almost like this enterprise of the Riviera on Gaza, and the breakthroughs in regards to that are being blocked, frustratingly blocked for Dickoff and his cronies. So let's see where we go with this. The challenge is the Ten of Cups. Again, you've got this block up here, this frustration and challenge and psychological block here. So the Ten of Cups, the challenge is the end of this this monarchy, this oligarchical monarchy cycle. It's in its last hurrah is what I'm getting there. Now I do know there's another couple of runes there. There's this one here, which is like a Y with a bit in the middle, which is very much about protection and shielding for the figure at the head of the table there. And this one here is about a wounded, an ulcerating wound. So you've got the blocks, the two pillars, one's an ulcerating wound and one is frustration at things being challengingly halted. So the challenge for Dickoff is that it's the end. It's the end of this celebrating the emperor cycle. The last hurrah is what I'm feeling. The last hurrah. The energy that he's stewing in is the action through strategy, bringing forward a strategy, taking action, standing defiantly firm there. In the past, we've got the Ace of Wands, the new messaging that's coming out. So what's Witkoff doing? What's Witkoff doing? Basically set fire to the whole lot, burn it down, and then bring forward this new plan. But it's in the past. So this was the past intention. What I'm interested in is what's going to happen going forward. ooh, I think he might have ended up in a situation that he might not actually be enjoying. Now, I know a lot of you say this looks like the PUTIN word at the bottom there. Between a rock and a hard place, basically. He's finding himself in a nightmare situation as he's trying to bring about all that is, as he's trying to implement this strategy, because the energy he's stewing in is bringing about this plan, this strategy. The plan was for, first of all, for Russia to wipe out Ukraine in 3 days. Well, that didn't happen. But also for Israel to, I'm just going to say, annihilate the Palestinians and take over Gaza. And that's not happening either. And the whole world is seeing what is happening. Okay, the immediate future for him is the Seven of Swords. Sneaking into camp, lying, stealing. Don't know if you can see that he's hiding behind this the hermit tree. So he's hiding in the shadows of the isolation, ready to pounce out on the two figures there. So I think there's going to be I hate to say it, attack on aid workers. I just hate to say it, but it's almost like targeting aid workers is what I'm feeling. This particular figure here has this M symbol, which is about harmony and loyalty and teamwork. Yeah, I just, ugh. Yeah, I'm just going to say, I honestly feel that there will be targeting of aid workers in the immediate future. Externally for him, so 2 sevens, bringing down the wrath of God on the defenseless people below. Internally for him, the Hierophant. It's all about the adoration of the Supreme Leader, who has, is it Anubis, the dog of war, chained there? So he's got the dog of war chained, or the government has, and I'm feeling this is the orange twerp government. Okay, I can't say I've noticed that before. Above the figure here, above, don't know if you can see that, there's what looks like an R, which is the travel and journey card. So he is the so-called special envoy. He's got the dog of war that he can unleash. He basically wants capitulation is what I'm getting, the word I'm getting, to make his decrees. It's basically Supreme Leader says this, you must do it. Ugh, is how he sees himself. Ugh, how he sees himself, the power to bring down on defenseless people. But he thinks it makes him powerful. Oh, he's such a twit. He's such a ghastly person. Hopes and fears, the Page of Swords, the truth being shown. The outcome, 3 of Swords. Okay, well, these aren't very good cards for him. 3 of Swords, head being cut off, the treason, the betrayal, the deceit. Oh dear, don't they ever learn that from any of them that everything that the orange twerp touches dies. Secrets being revealed with the High Priestess. And then we've got the Hermit himself, the isolation, the investigation, being blocked here. The challenge of being blocked, his frustration, and it can also mean investigation. Now, this hermitry is this hermitry that this lying, stealing, deceptive figure is hiding behind to spring out. This is, and then we've got the Hanged Man being stopped. And then we've got that King of Wands energy. And this is my Zelensky energy. The King of Wands, an inspirational leader coming forward. Trapped by the messaging, the abuse of power, the betrayal, the deceit, the stealing, the just awful cards. Five of Swords. Sorry, it just, win at any cost. But then we've got fleeing to Russia. So Dikov might find himself, what's he doing there? His intention is to make the plan happen, but I don't think it's going to work out well for him. Show me what's going to happen with Netanyahu. Okay, show me what's going to happen to the Attorney General Bahava Miara. I do apologise if I've got that wrong. Woman of great experience, knows the stuff, refuses to allow Netanyahu to get away with his illegal shenanigans. She was the one that blocked him from firing the head of domestic security, because the head of domestic security, she's powerful and protective. He wanted to get rid of the domestic security because the head of domestic security wouldn't do what Netanyahu wanted to, in other words, turning on the Israeli people. So let's have a look. Throwing out the corruption case. So what's going to happen to Attorney General Baharava Miara? Right. Can be a legal crossroads. I mean, the cabinet has voted to fire her, but they do not have the authority to do so, I believe. Or have they? They haven't fired her yet. So this is very much a crossroads moment for Israel. She's got the two swords in her hands, got her wolf protection on, and the arms are crossed protectively. In the figure, in the background, I don't know if you can see it, but in the darkness of the woods, there's corpses hanging from the trees. So it is a crossroads moment about whether or not she can hold on, and she is there to protect the people, not to do the government's bidding. On this tree here, again, we've got the challenge and the frustration and things being blocked. On this tree here, we have the honour, the justice, the leadership and the authority, and the warrior. So it can go either way. Is it the government going to be blocked and she is the justice authority hanging on to her honour and being the warrior, or is she going to get blocked? So let's see where this goes. The challenge is that King of Swords energy, the threat, the strategy, the action being taken. How is she going to go? What a nightmare situation she's ended up in, being stabbed in the back, betrayed, with her two swords here. This is the energy that she's stewing in at the moment. This isn't the outcome, but it's very much stabbed in the back and betrayed energy. In the past, we've got the, is it a victory or is it a surrender? Might be a victory. I'm not quite sure why I'm getting the feeling of this. And looking at the symbol up here, which I know is a very old Egyptian symbol that was bastardized by the Nazis in the 1930s, I believe. The symbol up here, it's almost like she's the protection against this fascism. So her defiance at the front and the past, battling against this fascism, crowning the reigning, the hanged man, things being stalled, things being stopped. Could also be the sacrifice, but let's see where it goes. The immediate future, the Six of Pentacles, the throwing out of the ranks and closing up behind. This does not bode well for her, remembering that we got that Ace of Pentacles in regards to her. This is basically tossing out of the ranks and closing ranks behind. Out in the cold, yeah, abandoned. I don't think she's going to survive this, which is just absolute BS. Okay, internally we've got this inspirational feminine figure. She will not go that easily. I mean, she may go, but she won't go quietly. We've got this Queen of Wands, an inspirational feminine figure bringing forward a fiery message internally. It's almost like the fire in her belly will be lit, and if she's no longer Attorney General, she has nothing stopping her. So see how this goes. Hopes and fears, the King of Cups, that cooler heads will prevail. It's a hope, emotional maturity, but it can also be an emotional power grab type thing. This isn't her. This is what's happening to her. Right, the outcome, Ten of Swords. Yeah, I think she's going to be gone. But the Eight of Cups, the agile squirrel taking off with the cup while the crusty old dragon is chewing on his dead wood. This is movement on from what was. Times have changed. Eight of Cups, Eight of Swords. She might find herself, they attempt to restrict her. The government, the ones that want to unleash the dogs of war and be adored, may put restrictions on her. Do not underestimate the strength of her battle, though, because she might become a rallying point with that Page of Swords. Planting the sword in the ground defiantly. And we've got the devil, the investigation into the devil. We know who the devil is. And then we've got the Fool, the new beginning. Got the King of Pentacles. That'll be my Netanyahu card, potentially in this reading. And we've got the Empress Russia, planning together. Two of Wands. Planning together, overseas stuff happening, dark money changing hands with that Three of Pentacles, working together behind the scenes. And then we've got the World. Now, is she working together with somebody on the world stage to bring this to an ending? I'm just going to ask for some yes-no questions, because I think they're going to get rid of her, but I think it's going to backfire in that she will become a rallying point for the Israelis. But let's have a look. What I actually want to ask, because I've got a hit on it and I've got yes, yes there as I split the deck. Let's see how we go. Pardon me. Is Attorney General Bahava Miara going to move to the Hague, the ICC? Is she going to take up a position? Now, we know that Netanyahu has already been charged with crimes against humanity. No. Okay. No, so she's not, but there's something there. Yes, there is something there. It's not yet written. There's something there, but it's not been decided on as yet. Baharava Miara. Is she going to become a force to be reckoned with after this dismissal? No. Oh, well, why am I getting all these no's? No, no, and blank. There's something that's not yet written. It's this crossroads. think what's going to happen is she's got to be fired first. She's going to become a rallying point. Not necessarily her, but the firing or the sacking is either she physically or the action of sacking her, firing her, going to become some sort of fuse, dynamite point, explosive point. Yes, yes, yes. What's on the top? Yes, 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 yes. So I'm not sure what her role's going to be going forward. I'm not sure why I'm picking up the ICC. It may be a different court that I'm picking up. So yes, she is going to become some sort of rallying point because of the political meddling. It's going to be just one of those. You know how it sort of just takes one more thing and then there's a trigger point. It's a bit like with the orange twerp. It's like, really, the Epstein files, like of all the ghastliness he's done, it's the Epstein files. But what's happened is that was the trip up trigger point. So that's what this feels like. If they go ahead with sacking her, it does feel so. No, and I do get that Netanyahu will be the third one out of the three to go. So I think he's going to hang on for a little bit longer. Okay, I think once she's sacked, the head of domestic security is going to be fired as well. They're going to force the dropping of the corruption case against Netanyahu. His wife was convicted of corruption in the past, but none of it's going to go down well with the people of Israel. What a ghastly part of the world at the moment. I just... Okay, love to you all. Just know that with every day that passes, it's a day closer to this all being over. Take care. Love to you. Catch you shortly.